This is the second face-to-face engagement that tourism has had in the world since the pandemic. And therefore it's significant. It's significant for us to make a statement that we have restarted tourism. And to restart tourism is to be done with confidence, because we are following the protocols and because the science is with us and the data supports us. So I think being here and leaving all the way from Jamaica, which was 17 hours of flying overall, is to really make the statement to everybody that flying is okay, that you can fly again. It's safe to travel. You know, we've done our PCR test. This is the 4th test that I'm doing in just about a week. But it's all happening so quickly, so seamlessly, and you know, the results are quick. And so it allows us to be able to say yes, tourism and travel is back again. In fact, it is a message that has to resonate with all. And it begs some questions. One of it is, how do we achieve this? That's a big one. And achieving it is by collaborating, and achieving it is by not leaving anybody behind. So it brings a level of equity in the whole matter of arranging the tools that are necessary, the biosanitary tools. How can we make sure that the small countries, the highly dependent, less resourced countries, who are critical in all of this, and in fact they are the real source of the experiences, how do we make sure that they are not left behind? And in this whole vaccine diplomacy and vaccine politics that is raging now, where nationalism is taking the front seat, and there's less talk about how do we really collaborate. We're seeing that 1.7 billion doses have so far been given to the world. That's 5.1% of the world. But that doesn't tell the real story. The real story is that less than 1% of the countries of the world have had a second dose at the level of 30% or more. It also tells another story, that 3 countries have literally cornered the majority of that, and in one case 131 million people have had a second dose, while there are 60 countries that are still to get 1% dosage for the first time. So these are real issues if we are going to start together and if we're going to recover in an equitable way. But if we don't, it is going to spell danger, and it is going to cause a humanitarian tragedy that is probably worse than the pandemic. And this is a big point that we need to understand. And I think tourism is a strong voice, and we must make that voice heard, you know, in the powers that matter, that recovery cannot be meaningful. It will be a fleeting illusion, as Bob Marley says, to be pursued but never attained, unless there's equity, and unless the big boys who have the resources are able to enable the smaller guys who have no resources to be able to be healthy too. In my own country, we have been working very hard at following the protocols, comporting with the key protocols. You know, social distancing, wearing a mask, you know, the touchless technology arrangements to enable more of the reduction in the transmission of the disease, since in fact the vector is a human being. So we've been using the quarantine, the lockdown, so to speak, as they call it, and we are also looking at closing borders here, opening borders there to countries. The good news, however, is that we opened our borders on the 15th of June and we've not closed it. We've had variations in terms of how the numbers go, because we manage by science and data. And as those numbers and science improve, then we also relax our restrictions. Since the year, we've had just a little over 400,000 visitors. But of course, That's about 30-40% of what we normally do. But we're growing, and that's good. But there's a second and important part where the collaboration is concerned, and that's for the region, the Caribbean region. And we're working now with the Dominican Republic, Cuba, Mexico, Panama, 5 of us, in creating a Caribbean passport arrangement that allows for multi-destination tourism, but it also is going to create an opportunity for visitors who, particularly those from the long-haul destinations, coming into our space, can have multiple destination experiences with a package that offers a single price and an opportunity to move from one country to the other seamlessly to enjoy touristic endeavors. So this is important because what it is doing, it is saying that we can converge our interests. We could put aside our competitiveness and we can collaborate. And we could do something else. We can, what they call co-petition. We could engage in co-petition rather than competition. I think that will be a big part of the whole recovery program. The world needs to look to that, and we will be able then to find a common way. And we need these common tools, but the equity that must give us the common tools has to be there, because there's no way I can ask for a single passport for a country that has no vaccination, from a country that doesn't understand how to even deal with the basics of health because they don't have the resources. So we have to work together, and those who have it must be able to pass on. The last thing I want to say on it is the whole business of patents and the liberalization of manufacturing rights to a larger number of countries so that more of the vaccine can be manufactured by a wider group of competent and qualified and technologically capable and efficient manufacturing entities. And so we have to make our voice heard on that. We have to call for this liberalization so that the patents cannot be stuck into one country, but the use of it can be available in many other countries where manufacturing capabilities exist. In that way, we'll have far more vaccines available to far more countries in a shorter time.